Hi guys, we're gonna do EL today. So for EL, hopefully you watched the video of Beaks by Sneed B. Collard the Third. Please watch this before you watch this video. So if you haven't read this book, watch the video about me reading this book, pause this video, scroll back up, and then watch this first. So we're gonna talk about the book, assuming that you watched the video. And I'm going to split my screen again so that way you guys can kind of see. Okay, so let's go here. All right, learning target, you already know this. Let's get our arrow ready. I can research information about different types of bird beaks using the text beaks. Let's read it one more time. I reload your arrow or your bow, reload your bow with your arrow. I can research information about different types of bird beaks using the text beaks. Awesome. So we're going to be using this text. And unfortunately, you guys don't have copies, but I did record this on YouTube. And we're going to be using this book for the next several lessons. So I will be attaching this video in case you guys need to rewatch the video. We'll probably watch it every day, just so that way you guys are masters. So page 1. We're going to flip to page 1. And what's funny about this book, there's no page numbers. Look at this. No page number, no page number. I don't know why. That's just how it is. So this would be page 1. The first page, it says, birds have no teeth, no hands, no antlers, horns, or spines, but birds have beaks, and beaks are enough. So take a look at this picture. So if you look at my screen right here, you can kind of see me up in the top right-hand corner. But let's take a look at the page 1. It says, I can research information about different types of bird beaks using the text beaks. So that's our learning target. But within learning target, let's take a look at this first bubble on the left-hand side. What do birds have instead of teeth? Do they have teeth? Do they go to the dentist? They're like, hey, man, I got a cavity. Can you help me out? No, they don't. They have, what do they have instead of teeth? Different types, and we drew this right before we left. I think it was like 3 weeks ago. Beaks. They have, instead of teeth, they have beaks. All right, let's take a look at this yellow bubble. What is the bird doing with its beak in the illustration? So that picture that I just showed up here at the top right-hand corner. Oh, hold on, there we go. What is it doing? What is that bird doing with its beak in the illustration? It is holding a stick. This bird, it doesn't look like it's building anything yet. It's just holding a stick. It has a stick, a little twig in its mouth. Depending on the size of the bird, how big or small the little twig will be. The stick, the branch. And let's take a look at this third bubble. What are some things that you think birds do with their beaks? So if anyone's near you, you can tell them. You can talk to your computer. So they eat. I know they eat with their beaks. They pick up things like this lovely twig that they pick up. They go fishing. If you guys actually saw the video of this book, you would know that skimmers, yes, this one was cool. I actually talked to my friends about this bird today. I let them know. We did a video conference call, and I told them that the interesting fact about skimmers right there, their bottom beak is actually, it goes underneath the water and it helps them to fish. And so remember, it says, to hunt, the bird flies with its lower bill slicing below the water surface. When it strikes a fish, the bird snaps its beak shut, trapping the fish in a scissor-like grip. So it's kind of like this. It's like, so as soon as it hits, it closes its mouth, so that way it kind of just holds it within its beak. And so those are our questions. Let's go down to page 3 and 4. Like I said, there's no page numbers, so I'm just gonna have to count 1, 2, and then 3 and 4. So this was page 3 and 4. It talks about the macaws and hummingbirds. So if you take a look at this question, take a look at the question mark. That is a question, is asking you something. What text features did you notice on these 2 pages? So on these 2 pages, what text features? And we talked about text features a lot with our last books, like our birds books. Let's see, I have them right here. Text features, you guys remember this one? Birds, remember? What is at the top of the page? Oh, backwards. So, fantastic feet. That's gonna be your title. That's gonna be your heading. Take a look at the illustration right here. That's your illustration. Take a look at your caption. Remember the small words? That's your caption. Captions usually are like just facts. So, what text features did you notice on these 2 pages? Let's go back to our Beaks book. So let's take a look at our first bubble, the yellow bubble. It says, how is the structure on this text different from the structure of the text feathers, not just for flying? So feathers, not just for flying. McKenna, my dear, I think you were absent for when we read this, and it was a really long book. I think I actually sent you home with this book. So those of you who don't remember this book, I recorded it, and so I will put this on the website as well. If you want to re-listen to it, you're more than welcome to. So how is the structure different in beaks than feathers, not just for flying? So beaks, we're comparing this book to this book. We're going to kind of see how they're different. So how is the structure of the text different from the structure of the from beaks to feathers? So take a look. Let's take a look at page 3. That is actually 4. Let's take a look at page 3. It says, heavy beaks crush. So you see this in the title and heading, correct? Macaws. Like sparrows, many macaws eat seeds. Unlike sparrows, macaws eat very big seeds. With its heavy, sharp beak, the scarlet macaw cuts through the fleshy green fruit of an Indian almond tree. So you can see that this text has a title and heading, right? It has a title and heading. Illustrations. Look at those pictures. Those are illustrations. Now let's open up to any page in here. We know, let's actually open. Let's use this as an example. This book doesn't have page numbers either. Feathers can shade out sun like an umbrella. So we have a title or heading. We have illustrations. We have a text box. And we have a little baby caption. So how are these 2 different? I want you to maybe even reread this one, rewatch this one, should I say, in the video. How are they different? There are no text boxes on this new book that we just read on beaks. There's no text boxes, there's no captions, and there's more words on the page. So you can see that, yes, a caption it's basically a fact, but sometimes books will provide you with even more information. Let's take a look at our blue bubble. Which text features will be most helpful when reading this text? So what do you think? If we're reading this text beaks, what in the world text feature do you think is going to help you succeed? If you open up to any page in this book, you're going to say, which text feature? Take a guess. If you're near someone, you can tell them. Which text feature do you think? The illustrations and headings, because look at how large these pictures are. They use both pages just for this one bird. And then take a look at the heading, including the beaks we see today. What about this one? Let's see. Oh, that was actually the last page, so we probably should be, oh, there we go. A plunging beak. What do you think this page is going to be about? A beak that plunges. This page says a stabbing beak. What do you think this beak does? It stabs. Ooh, what do you think this beak does? It says a swishing beak. What is it going to be doing? It's swishing through the water. This spoonbill is going to be swishing through the water. Hook beaks tear. What do you think this beak is going to do? It's going to tear flesh. This bird of prey is going to rip the meat off of this fish. You see that? A green cutthroat, a greenback cutthroat. All right, friends, good job. So now, let me see. Is a little bit difficult navigating between, let's see. All right, so beaks. We're gonna be looking at beaks by Sneed B. Collard III. So I have some questions for you guys. What do you think about birds? Remember when we introduced this whole unit and we separated the class over by the clip chart and over on the other side of the room? So what do you guys think about beaks or birds? What do you think about birds? Do you like them? Have you maybe never noticed them until now? Now there's all this bird talk. We're talking about birds. I went up to the mountains today and I heard a bird and I looked up and unfortunately I did not know what bird I was looking at, but I know that being able to read these texts, they're gonna help me identify what the bird eats and maybe what the bird's doing. Why is it in a tree? Is the nest in the tree? Are there nests built on the ground? So what do you think about birds? You can talk to the screen. You can turn and talk to maybe a sibling, brother, sister, or even parents if they're there, grandparents. All right, question number 2. Has anyone in your family had experiences with these birds? I guess I can go back to the screen. Yes. All right, so has anyone in your family had experiences with these birds? So I know some of you guys, you've told me, you're like, I own a bird. I own an African gray bird. I know it. But how have you seen these birds at the zoo? Have you maybe drawn a picture? Maybe hummingbirds. Take a look at this one. How many of you guys have hummingbird feeders in your backyard or your front yard? Macaws, if you guys watched Rio, right? Aren't there some macaws in Rio? Toucans. Who's on a toucan? Let's see. Isn't there a cereal? I feel like there's a cereal with a toucan on it. Let me see. Let me ask my honey. Hey, hon? Yes, what is the cereal with the toucan on it? It's Fruit Loops. That's what I thought. Fruit Loops with the toucan, right? We've seen these birds. This one. Now, I don't know if you guys have had any experience with woodpeckers, but it's in the woodpecker family. It's called a flicker. And let's see, I'll show you guys. Over here, you can see I have a fireplace. So in the fireplace, above it is a chimney. And so there's these little birds and they're called flickers and they will come at random times during the day and all you hear is, but it sounds louder because their beak is actually, it's like poking the metal and they have strong, wasn't it? Yes, woodpeckers. Fortunately, a woodpecker skull is reinforced with extra thick bone. This keeps the bird from getting brain damage while it is woodpecking away. So a flicker is a part of the woodpecker family. The pecker family. All right, next question. How do birds use their beaks to survive? So this is a great question. I'm actually going to type it out so you guys can see it. It's going to be kind of like a learning target. So how do birds use their beaks to survive? So how do birds use their beaks to survive? Look at this question. How do birds use their beaks to survive? Oh, and remember our there. Remember there's 3 different theirs. There, there. Oh, I'm gonna go to the next page. Actually, I'll just make it a little bit smaller so we can see it on this page. There, there, right? There, and they are. So for some reason, my computer just capitalizes when I press enter. You guys remember, every time we press enter, it kind of capitalizes the next line. So there, remember that I. I'm actually going to change the font to this I. I means that they're very important. That means it's showing possession. So if it's their pencil, you would use that word, that there. And take a look. There, I. That means they're showing possession over what? Their beaks. Whose beaks? Their beaks. So they're showing possession over those beaks. So that's the there we're dealing with. Remember, just to brush up though, we're that there. Remember how we, oh man, this there, we drew a tree on that R, and that means like over there in the park. Remember that R? We made a tree right there. Let's see. I'll look up a tree picture. Let's take a look, you guys. Let's look up. Ooh, I like these trees. So I can take a screenshot on my computer. So I'm gonna clip that. You heard it. It sounded like a camera, right? And I'm gonna come in here to my document. It's kind of like Word documents, but it's Google Docs. It's your Google Docs. You guys are familiar with this. If I insert a image from my computer, go to my desktop, and I took a picture of that tree. All right, so this is where the fun part begins. I'm going to make this tree a little bit smaller. I'm going to be able to, if I come up here, wrap the text so that way I can move the image. You guys don't have to do anything. You're just watching for now. But I'm going to replace that R with the tree. If I can. Maybe I can't, but we're going to imagine that this tree is right there. T-H-E, tree-E. That means over there. Whenever you see that type of there, it means over in the park, like in the park with the trees. And you guys remember this one, they apostrophe. If you take out that apostrophe, it's R. Remember that little guy? And he's like, oh no, oh no. And he basically slams the A, and he puts the bulldozer puts the apostrophe up at the top. They are there, like over there, and there, showing possession. So this is the there that we're dealing with. So how do birds use their beaks to survive? How? Think about it. You can tell me, you can tell someone that's close by, you can create an imaginary friend who you're talking to. Do what you can, okay, friends? This is very different. I miss you guys. I miss being in the classroom and hearing all your voices, even all 24 students talk at once. I miss it. It happens. So how do birds use their beaks to survive? Maybe you guys said to eat. Maybe you thought about the ways in, let's see, where's my book? Where's my handy dandy bird beaks book? Right here. There's only so many places on the table that I could set it down. So how do birds use their beaks to survive? They eat food, you know, that they can't live without food. Flamingos, they eat food. They use their beaks. They use their beaks to build houses. They use their beaks to transport material. They use their beaks to open up nuts, eat bugs. They use their beaks to get boyfriend or girlfriends. Remember, the male birds are beautiful and they want to get a girlfriend, so they use their beaks in order to find a mate, someone that they want to spend their time in quarantine with. So how do birds use their beaks to survive? Now, our next question, let's go down here. How do birds use their body parts to survive? So we're not limiting to just beaks. This body parts, where it says body parts, where I highlighted it, it could be beak, it could be their eyes, it could be their feathers, it could be their feet. How do birds use their body parts to survive? What if a bird was, you know, it had its home, and then wintertime came along and they were like, oh gosh, it's freezing. What body part would they use in order to fly south where it's warmer? Their wings, right? Yeah. How do birds use their body parts to survive? So I want you to talk to maybe someone, if you don't have anybody around, maybe some plants. Plants are living things. You can talk to your plants without sounding crazy. So talk to someone about how do birds use their body parts to survive. All right, guys, this is it for this lesson. Join me tomorrow. Bye, guys.